Hey everybody, welcome back to the Unqualified Film Bros podcast. Ben, we missed you last week.
Yep.
Yeah, we
Sorry
did.
about
Um,
that.
It's okay.
it's all good, things
I
happen.
was recovering from nerve gas.
Oh,
Yeah, this is why we have Ben 2 joining us on the pod tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ben 1 died, but it is what it is.
it is what it is.
I look forward to Ben 17, but I heard Ben 9 is kind of annoying.
And Ben 3. You don't want to see Ben 3.
Guys, come on. We missed the big one. Ben 10.
That's
I hate
actually
you.
accurate.
So if you
I'm gonna
couldn't
show
tell,
up
we
as
are
a
talking about every single episode of Ben 10 tonight. Um,
We
we
show
are
sure
to
we are
will.
Joe.
doing that review right now. No, Bong Joon Ho is back 6 years after Parasite. Thank you,
After
thank
David
you.
Zaslav let him out of his closet.
We'll talk about Warner Bros. In a minute. Actually, let's start with Warner Bros.
We'll
because
let Ben
today,
talk. We'll let Ben talk about Warner Brothers.
I think this
today
movie
there
was
was a
finished like,
protest outside of Warner Brothers Studios.
oh, I
Guy
saw that.
dressed
Yep,
as Wile E. Coyote
that's my
saying,
Oh my
hero.
"Release
God.
my
Yeah.
film."
That
Benjamin,
is my
go.
hero. That look, that is probably the truest, most passionate film buff out there. Like I can't compete with that guy at all. That is true passion. Um, I wish him the best of luck. David Zaslav is a powerful opponent, but I think his heart can beat him. And the fact that Warner Brothers is going to go under eventually. That's probably going to kill David Zaslav too.
What do you mean? HBO Max isn't bringing in all the cash for him? It's not
Well,
working?
considering
Well,
HBO Max hasn't been a thing in about 2 years,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Well,
it's
I
just
know.
Max now.
it's
And
the one to
no,
watch.
the
I
Allegedly,
know, but
Logan
I
allegedly,
thought
it's
Paul,
the one
I
to
know, but I
watch.
thought it would be confusing if I said it because my name is Max.
that's true.
I'm just realizing that now for the first time.
Sorry. Oh man.
Don't worry, guys. The
Down on
Logan
the
Paul
line.
reality
8 years
series will
later.
certainly recoup a lot of money.
What are we talking about tonight? Oh
So
yeah,
anyway,
another
Mickey 17.
another
I'm pretty
Warner
sure
Bros.
this
movie.
movie it was finished like a year ago, a year and a half ago, and they've just been waiting to release it.
It's
And
been
so
delayed a
yeah,
couple
now
times.
a
Yeah,
Yep.
great idea, guys. The only international winner of an Academy Award, and you sideline his movie for like a year and a half. Amazing job, guys. I mean, hats off. Hats off. Um, I generally like this movie. It's not as good as Parasite, but it has a lot of its merit. Like it has a lot of the same themes, just in a more comedic fashion, even if Parasite contained some horribly dark humor. Um,
Parasite was a dark comedy thriller.
yeah, that nobody can tell me Mr. Park is not a great comedy if depressing scene. But this one kind of is the more lighthearted version, with a lot more fantasy, with a lot more sci-fi, and probably a lot more overt and explicit. Like the themes are not subtle at all,
It's not
which I
subtle.
think is what some of the criticisms were about. But for my take, the movie was going for weird, and to have subtlety in that doesn't make any sense.
It
I don't
it
think
goes for
it's
that like the offbeat nature of and everything everywhere all at once or a poor things. Like it's
well, yeah.
really going for the we're gonna be out there with the sci-fi and we're not gonna care.
If anyone has watched like enough Korean and even Japanese cinema, modern cinema, not like a Kira Kurosawa, but like Each of the Killer and things like that, it felt very much in line with that. Or Paul Verhoeven, he's done some of that work with like RoboCop and Starship Troopers. It felt very much along those lines with the Bong Joon Ho sort of feel to it. But I liked it. I mean, it's a nice change of pace for him. Even if it's not his like greatest work, it's still very good. Um, yeah, it is heavy-handed, but I think it would. be a disservice to take a wacky sci-fi thing like this and do subtlety with it. Nothing is subtle about the premise or the background. It doesn't make any sense. If you're going to criticize it, you're criticizing the idea of it, which I mean, fair enough, but I liked it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Ben. I mean, definitely not subtle. George and I were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, absolutely not.
But that's I
Pretty
think that's a
blatant.
But even Parasite was pretty blatant at
yeah,
points. It just
it
sort
was.
of like
Yeah.
contained a lot of more subtle moments between family members and stuff like that. But it's not like Bong Joon Ho has ever been a subtlety guy. It's like when he presents a theme, it's pretty explicit. Um,
I also think
but
we're operating under the sort of the guise, I guess, that subtle is or not being subtle is a bad thing, right? Like,
yeah, I mean,
ah,
again, people
I don't think
criticize
there's a
it.
problem, these things are important to address and talk about just because they're not cloaked in some, you know, mystery that you have to dig and uncover doesn't make it not a valid point. It doesn't make the themes less important than what are presented to you.
Yeah, there's certainly, an audience for more niche, like subtle cinema, but not everything needs to be that. And certainly this gets across its themes. And it has its own subtleties. Like, I mean, the very idea of Mickey and his great guilt being that he pushed a button and his mom died when Mickey 18 said, "Oh, that was just like a factory error." That's a more subtle, like capitalistic thing. It's that they allow this to go out and kill people, and he feels the guilt now. But yeah, for the most part, it is pretty overt. But you're right. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, especially given that we're given very explicit like visuals too, because we watched Mickey die multiple times
So
and
many
then come to
times.
terms with wanting to, live. Um, yeah, I can't see that as a reasonable criticism unless you really dislike the premise. I don't think you should
And
have
this
done the movie differently if this was going to be your premise. And they adapted it from a book too, so
the book, which I believe was called Mickey 7, and Bong
yes.
kind of
I don't
like
yeah, I've not read it. I
shit it
don't know
up.
anything about it. I just know it was adapted.
Yeah. Um, I think this is, and we've only seen two movies this year, but this is the best movie we've done this year so far. Um, Certainly, like from a filmmaking perspective,
Yeah, I honestly don't
very like
remember.
the only other movie we've done this year, Ben, is Captain America: Brave New World. That's the only
Is
other new
that the
release
only
we've
thing?
done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, well then yeah.
by default.
By process
Um,
of elimination.
Sorry, Mackie. Anyway, yeah, from a filmmaking
Hey,
perspective, like narratively speaking, this is really really nice, really fresh. The third act gets a little Avatar-y,
I don't
um,
I don't know what
but
you mean by that.
well, just the heroes sort of defending the planet that they went to.
I think that's more that he was saved by them
Are
and
you telling
that
me that Jake Sully wasn't saved by the Na'vi? I'm getting too into it. Um,
I
like this
I
film,
don't know how to respond to this.
uh, I don't know. It's just something that I thought in the moment and thought I would share. But anyway, the film
I don't
looks
think
really
they're
good.
very similar.
The visual effects are fantastic, especially like the creepers.
Yeah,
Big
Warner
fan
Brothers
of the
spent like a
design.
hundred something $1 million and Bong Joon-ho cashed in. I trusted him too.
Yeah, but there are some movies that have that big for visual effects in their budget.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they have budgets, but they don't have people to use them. That's the problem. If you gave me a Lamborghini and you gave some F1 driver a Lamborghini, I think one of them would drive it better. That's just my
No, I
my
don't
two
think I've ever
cents.
seen you drive, Ben.
I'm not a bad driver.
Ben's a
Maybe
fine
maybe I'll say
No,
like
I've absolutely. I last time I was in DC, I saw you drive.
they
yeah.
give Chip a oh yeah, I did drive you. They give Chip a
That was a
Lamborghini.
fun night.
Yeah, we would be dead.
Chip is a terrible driver
We would
for
be
those
dead.
that
Chip
don't
is
know.
not a good driver,
A
Bad.
self like described he should not be on the road.
which is
But
why he's got the
you
rest
could
of
give
us to
him
drive for him.
that. Yeah. Um but yeah, I mean my biggest criticism with those big budget movies is just that it should look good. That is the easiest thing when you have that amount of budget. Just get somebody that knows what they do and shoot it like that. Marvel needs to figure that out because a lot of their movies look crap, honestly, for the amount of money
Well,
they
thank
spend.
goodness for the Thunderbolts trailer that told us exactly who is behind this
Okay,
movie in
Marvel needs to
excruciating
do more
detail.
of that shit. And literally, that teaser only came from Florence Pugh offhandedly saying it's kind of like an A24 thriller movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good selling point,
And
but
so they
like
reference all the A24 movies that their crew worked on.
the bigger issue is not that. It's like the studios control where you shoot. And a lot of the stuff that Marvel does, the reason it doesn't look great is because they shoot everything CGI. That's why it's so expensive. And that's why it doesn't look good a lot of the time.
Did you guys see
I mean,
the
sure,
set
if it's
photos
Thor,
from
fine, but
you guys see the set photos from the Odyssey today?
yeah,
Yep.
They're on a boat in the water.
Yeah, no shit.
yes. Well, that's
I
kind of a
fucking love
story. So
Nolan. Nolan's the best.
Like, yeah, I mean, just going back to the budget talks, right?
What was Mickey 17's
It's
budget?
it was about $112 million, I think.
and I'm not worried about that money going to waste.
Mm-mm. You can make really good films.
118. Ben, I had no idea you were going to be that close.
18. All right, I was off by 6.
That's
Shame,
remarkable.
Mr. Park, shame. It brings shame. Um, I mean, yeah, back on Mickey 17, it looks great. Yeah. But that is something that I would expect. It's like people tell me, oh, this movie looks really good or this show looks really good. That is the bare minimum if you get that much money. If you don't, hey, you have to do some creative things, and I really appreciate that.
Right, and if it didn't
You
look
have the
good, we would
money,
have to
just
talk
don't.
about it as a movie that didn't look good, despite its budget. But it does.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does
And
it does the bare
it
minimum.
well, it does that, but it also has a really interesting story to it. It's got some really great writing. The acting is amazing. I mean, these are things that get left out sometimes when you prioritize the budget in one way. Script can be sometimes
So
not.
I do want to bring up what I believe to be the best line in the movie, and I wrote it down
Fuck you.
after I. Yeah, that was a pretty good line. Uh, better watch your step. One false move, and your man burger.
That is your best
That
line.
was my favorite line in the movie.
All right, favorite is different.
I didn't say it was the best. I said it was my favorite.
I thought you said best,
Oh,
but
did I say best?
regardless.
It was my favorite. But yeah,
Yeah,
there's
there are a lot of good ones.
so many lines in this movie that just like my theater was not that crowded. There were like 10 people, and it was a Cinemark XD theater, so it was pretty big. Um, but there were moments when I burst out laughing at some of the dialogue because the delivery, especially Pattinson's delivery, just remarkably funny.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to bring up, you brought up Man Burger, but one of my favorites in that realm was I'm fresh sashimi. You know, I'm good. I'm good meat.
And every time Tony Collette brought up sauces, I was laughing.
You want to try my sauce? Yeah.
I had forgotten, literally beyond Pattinson, because I hadn't read a lot about this movie because I wanted to go in kind of blind. I had forgotten that Ruffalo and Steven Yeun and Tony Collette and Naomi Ackie were all in this movie. And so I think Max, I texted you
I
about
knew
this
they
after
were
like,
because I've been seeing teasers for this movie for about 2 years. They kept saying it would come out.
yeah, I guess I
They
had forgotten
lied.
then. But like every time one of those big names showed up, I was like, wow, this cast got deeper and deeper and deeper.
Yeah, I mean it's like it's not that deep. It's the five
Ruffalo
person.
is also playing pretty much exactly the same character as he did in Poor Things, just space politician and not Victorian futurist
I
prick.
yeah, well,
He's
I don't know. They're pretty
Like
different.
he's great as this sort of
He's so
I mean
stupid in this
he's a
movie.
he's kind of a Nazi too. So
Yeah, he's like
he's
but
Elon.
a stupid Nazi.
He's
He's
like an
saying
Elon Trump hybrid.
yeah, well, yeah, and also, I mean, those guys got their ideas from other people. It's stupid populism, not populism, but like
I
the
guess
stupid version, the
I guess a
stupidest
better
version.
direct comp to Elon would be Mark Rylance's character in Don't Look Up.
I
he's trying to
yeah,
start the
that's a
Know
different
Nothing party
movie.
on Niflfeel. Like that's basically
Niflheim.
what it is. Niflheim. Yeah, yeah.
Niflheim.
I, the
I
first
thought
time
that
they
was
said it,
hilarious.
the first time they said it, I kept hearing Nibelheim. Yeah, so
So
my
you
bad.
guys all watch the Thor movies. You remember what Niflheim is?
You're fucking with us. They never mentioned that.
It's one
Oh
of the
wait,
nine
maybe they didn't.
realms.
Is it one of the nine realms?
It is one of
No,
the nine realms.
I thought this was. Oh, is it Nif
Yeah,
N
I remember
Niflheim
Jotunheim.
is
Nidavellir?
that's not one of the nine.
Nidavellir.
No, it's
That's a
a
made up word.
it is a
Oh,
Nordic place. It's supposed to be
oh,
like
it's the misty,
cold.
cold, and dark world,
Yeah.
the world of mist, Niflheimer.
There's not really a lot of mist, but it is cold.
There's mist. There's fog and the snow is blowing. That's close enough.
Sure.
It's called Niflheim. That's it's a very explicit movie. I love that they take a 4.5 journey to Niflheim and are surprised when it's cold. Like Jesus Christ, these people are really dumb. There's no way that nobody else went there. I mean, I think that's one of the settled parts, right? They know it's called Planet Niflheim. And so that means that somebody went there, realized that it's just a desolate, snowy planet. And Mr. Marshall decided, oh, yeah, this sounds great. They discovered this planet. It's got breathable air. We'll go
Breathable
there.
air once we use an expendable to
Once
get a
yeah,
vaccine.
exactly. We'll just get the vaccine, and then we infest the planet with our seed.
But only after I find who would be the perfect like specimen to start the new generation.
Well, yeah, obviously they have to be perfect genetics, but I
That's one
honestly
thing I didn't love about the second and third act is that Kai sort of stopped being a factor, and
that
she had
yeah, there
kind of a
there
bigger
were
factor in the
some
first two acts.
points, and that would be my criticisms, is just that Kai is a point and then she's not. It's like she doesn't really exist. I don't even know what happens
And
to
then
her
she's there
character
for
at this
one
point.
sort of gag at the end.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I don't know whether that was like cuts or something. That would be what I assume, because it's very clear that something was set up in the screenplay.
Yeah.
The movie was 2 hours, 17 minutes. Maybe they thought it was too long.
I know Warner Bros. And probably Zaslav wanted to make more cuts, and Bong said no, and they respected him for it.
Yeah, well, they should have respected him all the way and left everything in. Um,
I mean, I would have
so
watched a
yeah, I think
3 hour cut of this movie.
I can criticize it, but I almost am certain that that was meant to be a more pronounced storyline that just got cut by Mr. fucking Zaslav. God, that guy sucks. Have I told you guys how much he sucks?
And now back to the Wile E. Coyote protest.
But yeah,
He's
I
a
don't blame
goat.
him. I mean, that's my hero. Like that's the stupidest thing ever. Your company is going under. You've given all of DC to James Gunn. And now the Wile E. Coyote, the legacy of Warner Brothers, that cost $30 million, which means you can only get like $30 million in tax, write-offs. And it's written by James Gunn. And you just cancel it. You're like, yeah. Why don't you put out Logan Paul's reality series? Probably cost more. I
That's
have
what
no
we're reviewing
respect for the
next
man.
week is Logan Paul's.
He is an expendable. Like that's the point of the movie, right? Those guys are expendable. Bong Joon Ho is probably thinking of that all the time. It's like David Zaslav ruining my movie, trying to cut it. That is Mark Ruffalo. It's like, yeah, it applies to a politician, but it's really just stupid people in charge who have somehow got there. I mean, for people that are curious, he got there by putting reality TV shows on Discovery. Incredible work. I mean, wow. Well done, man. That's genius. And now he's in charge of all this, like a legendary studio with legendary, legacy. And he's just ruining it all. Release the director's cut, David, and relieve yourself of your duties. That's all I'll say.
And also release Coyote vs. Acme.
And that, everything. Just
and Batgirl.
Get your hands out of there. You don't know what you're doing.
Everything. That they literally have filmed, shown to test audiences, and then just shove in a vault after they get good reviews.
It's like, but those people liked it, but what about the next 100,000?
Yeah.
Die. All right. Maybe not that much, but
you're very passionate, Ben.
And die, and then you can, be reprinted. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just so you know what it feels like.
This movie does is it plays around with like scientific ethics of the reprinting and the multiples. So let me ask you, and I was going to save this question until the end, but if you guys discovered a multiple of yourself, would you? I kind of want to ask how would you handle it, but I want to be more specific. Would you try to kill it, or would you try to work with it to figure stuff out about the situation?
I would personally. This is just me.
That's why I'm asking is to get your answer. And Max's.
You know that trick in The Prestige where he throws, he does the bouncy ball? Yeah. That's what I would do. Now that I could do it.
That's a great answer. I think I'd have to figure out what his intentions are first. Like I would try and talk to, and if it's immediately clear that he wants to kill me or something, then yeah, I'm gonna kill it. But like, if
we're gonna kill it,
yeah,
he's dehumanized himself already.
Already, it's not human. This is a perfect carbon copy of yourself. It.
Yeah, but like, I'm the real one, so.
Exactly. Yeah, but it believes that it's the real one.
Wrong.
Wrong.
Yeah, I think I'm
trying to figure out what's going on. I try and figure out what's going on first, and
that's a very
like some fisticuffs are on the way. Then we'll deal with that when
I would just give him a good slap, and then tell him don't do that again.
Max, that's a very Mickey 17 answer of you, and Ben, that's a very Mickey 18 answer of you.
No, I think Mickey 18 would kill the other guy, but maybe I'm somewhere in the
I don't
middle.
know. 17.5 could do the trick.
I was thinking about a Sean Connery light slap. But not to women. I respect women. Just not my multiple.
I look forward to meeting Ben 2.
I am Ben 2. Do you want Ben 3?
Oh, yeah. Right. We did establish at the start of this episode that Ben 1.
It should have changed my name.
Something happened to Ben 1 last week, and we've got Ben 2 now.
Yeah, nerve gas, guys. Was being tested on. By the way, I meant to tell you, buy some hazmat suits in the next, 2 weeks. No reason. Just wear them all the time.
Oh, word?
Okay.
Works for me.
No reason though, no reason. It's just they're stylish. They're in style now.
Pandemic chic.
Yeah,
Why
actually,
weren't we wearing those
we're
things
bring,
5 years ago?
we're bringing it back. Some people
Because
were. They were ahead of their time.
because the doctors needed them and the people like we didn't need them, the doctors needed them.
Yeah, and
Ah,
that maybe that's
touche.
a small point.
What do you
The
guys think
doctors were
of
styling them.
what do you guys think of Pattinson here?
Oh, he's great.
It's great.
Park Chan-wook said he deserves Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor. Maybe I wouldn't go that far, but he's really, really good. I mean, it's tough to like. This is not an Oscar movie per se, not like Parasite. It just doesn't have the same drama that is normally accepted and
I could
nominated.
see this as like the early year rep at next year's Oscars.
I could win an award somewhere, not at the Oscars. It couldn't even be nominated. I'll
I
tell
mean,
you that.
it could get Pattinson
I'm
like a
sure
SAG
Bong Joon
award.
Ho knows that. I mean, he probably didn't even expect Parasite to get the nominations and awards it did.
No, he knew what he had with Parasite.
No, there are so many good international films that never get recognition. Like,
To be fair, 2019 was one of the deepest years we've ever had for film.
yeah, I mean, like, I don't even know if Parasite is his best film. I still think it's Memories of Murder. Um, so yeah, if you like Bong Joon-ho, watch that one. That is in my opinion, his best film. But yeah, there's so many good international films all the time from a million different places. They influence directors for the last decades. Never, ever got recognition. It's only recently. So yeah, I don't think he expected that at all. Sure, he knew he had a good movie, but with this one, what I'm saying is like, I think he knew that this was so out there that it probably wouldn't get much recognition that way. And I don't blame him one bit for taking a big budget from Warner Brothers and doing whatever he wanted after winning an Academy Award that nobody else has won in the same way.
Yeah.
He's
So,
a creative genius, and he had this idea to adapt the book, and it became a
yeah, I mean,
beautiful film.
I don't know the book, but I would assume that it's taking very loosely from it, just ideas and things. It's
Main
got the
character's
very,
name.
yeah, but let me even change that. It has the aspects and characteristics of a Bong Joon-ho film, so I would assume it's loosely based, but not like exceptionally accurate.
Yeah, I mean,
And I don't know.
it doesn't
This is just my
necessitate having
assumption.
read the book to say, oh, that's why that is why it is because of this in the book. We don't need to have seen to have read the book.
No, no. Well, any good adaptation should be its
Stand on
own
its
thing.
own.
I brought up Starship Troopers. When Robert Heinlein wrote that book, it was legitimate, like it was a serious tone. When Paul Verhoeven adapted it 36 years later, um, it was completely satirical. Like everything was a joke. The entire like theme and ethos of that book was reduced to a joke. That I agree with, by the way. I think the Paul Verhoeven adaptation is probably a more accurate depiction of how humans are than the very nationalistic and patriotic people in Starship Troopers. And yeah, you do have that here with the pro Marshall people. Even they have absolutely no reason to be pro Marshall. They're just like, I'm here. I'm at the colony. I like that, and just delude themselves because they're not punished for whatever they have done.
Again, very much not subtle what they're going for with the Marshall
No.
supporters.
Well, I mean, we can bring up Trump and stuff like that, but the idea with some of this stuff is it's not just Trump. I mean, these are
No,
universal
it goes
ideals.
beyond one person.
It's always been the power and problem with populism is people want better for themselves, but they don't always know better for themselves, especially when they're in a dire need for escape for anything, salvation, the church, the company, um,
The sauce.
the sauce.
And you see that at the beginning when he's filling out the forms to become an expendable. They barely ask him, "Did you read everything?" He didn't even really sign much other than get asked
Yeah,
barely. You sure you read it? Okay, come on. As she's
that
walking down the hallway.
that's probably one of the ultimate capitalist jokes. It's like, have you read the fine print?
Yeah.
Terms and
Yes,
conditions
of
are a
course. Give me
joke.
my song. I need my download. But yeah, instant gratification has always been a problem for the modern generation. And yeah, we just sign contracts, like it's whatever. People haven't before, but now we just do it willy-nilly when we're on a website, when we're wherever. But yeah, I mean, he just wanted to escape, and I think that's a lot of people. And even on a spaceship, it's like then you're really stuck. All you have is this guy, and you got to believe in him. And if he's not who you think he is, you're all screwed.
I think the movie got a little messy with Steven Yeun's character and the whole mob boss stuff.
I don't know, but I think that worked out fine.
I don't know. I feel like it just added something that, like Kai's presumed storyline in the third act, like there,
But his
you could
arc
have
kind of
taken
started at
Steven
the
Yeun's
beginning. It started at the beginning. Like they were making
Yeah,
what's his character's name? Timo.
Timo.
Timo, yeah.
Yeah. They're connected inextricably from the beginning because of this debt. And so there had to be some sort of resolution to it, right?
I guess.
And like credit that that didn't get cut, I guess. Right. I mean,
Yeah.
There may
we
have been
got the
more
full story.
scenes, but for the most part, I got the idea.
Yeah.
I mean, it is
Oh,
throughout the
like
movie,
I
it's not
said,
like scenes.
20 minutes ago, I could have seen a 3 hour cut of this movie.
Yeah, but I mean that's not one I would criticize. I think that works out fine. Fits
Okay.
an arc. It fits character motivation. I don't have a problem with it.
Very fun to see. Very cathartic in the moment where 18 blows himself up. It was
Yeah, well,
a fun moment.
sad, sad too.
Sad, but also kind of badass.
I really wanted the giant mom just to eat Mark Ruffalo or
I
make
don't
his
know.
head explode, which I
I
guess he
had a
can.
feeling that only one of the Mickeys was making it through the movie.
No, obviously, it's just I wanted to see Mark Ruffalo suffer in that movie. He was good. He was great. He was great in that role. I saw
He
people
and Tony
criticizing him
Collette.
like he wasn't supposed to be a dumbass, like evil sociopath.
Yeah, like I saw someone say like
You
I
want
can't
him to act
watch
more
him ham it
normal?
up in Mickey 17 for 2 hours. Like
It's amazing. Like some
what?
people, I think, should talk to some other people because they actually do act like that. I mean, there are real dumbasses in the world with inflated egos. Some of them run our country. Um, and that's just how it is. But no, they're not hamming it up. That's just who they are.
Yeah.
Sometimes some people are just that.
So, Mickey 17 is currently playing in movie theaters. You should go check it out. We can all toss a full endorsement behind it. We all really enjoyed it. I think you will too. If you like Bong Joon Ho, if you like science fiction, if you like Robert Pattinson, Mark Ruffalo, Tony Collette, all of them. Um, yeah, go check this movie out. We will be back next week. We are doing our first Soderbergh movie. I don't think we've done one of his before. We got Michael Fassbender, we got Kate Blanchett. We are talking about
Yeah, no.
Black Bag next week. So stick around and we'll be right back. Have a good night, everyone.
Good
Good
night.
night.